How are we, guys? Fire away. Let's go.
What I guess looking back at that first Florida game, what can you take from that to kind of apply here that worked, didn't work?
Well, Florida dominates in areas. They dominated in transition. They dominated on the glass. They're almost 21% of their possessions are in transition in league, which is just an incredible number. I thought we were good. You know, we managed those two things in the first half better than the second half. I think they had 6 offensive rebounds in the first half and finished with 17. So the second half, it got away from us. Transition got away from us a little bit in the second half. So that's kind of the price of entry with them. You have to be good in those two spaces or you're not going to be able to be competitive. And then you start a laundry list of things that you have to do well to try and compete with them. So I thought we had some success first half, not as much second half in those areas. And I think their backcourt is playing better. I think they're shooting the ball much more consistently and better. And so we're going to have to find some answers there and continue to be really, really aggressive offensively and see what we can do. And it's going to be a great game. It's going to be a big-time game.
Yeah, from what you've seen, are they playing even better maybe?
Yeah, I think they've gotten better and better and better for sure. I think they're, I think that they're they're just relentless with their physicality. They're just is, they seem unfazed by any amount of contact, and they've really taken on a good DNA that way, and they're playing well.
How would you assess your 3-point defense right now? Is there any areas of that you're really trying to focus on right now in the home stretch?
Yeah, we were clearly very, very poor with Texas A&M. Our shell principal rotation defense, very poor. Our urgency, we're an earlier cover team that was dying in the gap a lot, and that just is death. And so we've been sporadic that way. I think we have the potential to be really good. If we're going to have success here in winning time, then we're going to be good at it.
Talking about their physicality earlier, just looking back at how Malachi did against that front line, what did you think of that at the time? And then maybe seeing some of these other bigs that they played against more recently struggle, just in perspective, what did you think of that performance?
Well, you got to come. You got to be ready. I mean, it probably is just about as physical a team as any team in the country. They're playing great basketball right now, and if you don't come, with that in mind, you're going to suffer. So, I think Malachi is young and incredibly capable, and learning every day. And so one of the parts of that is learning the consistency. I think that's probably the most impressive thing with when you watch Florida right now is their bigs are relentlessly every single play, every single day, bringing a physicality to the game that's just really impressive. And so it's a great study for us and a place where we like to be.
What do you remember about your senior day, and what will you kind of tell these guys they're getting ready?
It's a special time. It's it's the last time you get to play in Rupp, right? And that's something. There's no arena like it. There's no fan base like it, and so as a last time, it's startling. I think it comes so much faster than you could ever anticipate, and so we'd like to suck it in. We'd like to soak it in, and we'd like to really we'd like to play great. We'd like to play great for us, for our team, for our season, and for our seniors.
Now that you've gotten to coach Ortega for these 2 full seasons, is there any surprises with him from when you first recruited him at Oklahoma to where he is now going into his last game here?
He's been what he's done. Ortega is interesting because you just keep asking more from him, and he is. His career here with what he's contributed to the 2 teams he's been a part of is just it really is remarkable. And his growth has been remarkable. Sometimes you think about the consistency, some of the markers that show his consistency, but within that you've just seen this incredible growth because his role has changed so dramatically. And so to stay as consistent as he's been with such a dramatically changing role is really incredible. He's got a competitor's heart. that spills over. He's one of the kindest, most well-spoken guys we've had play here. He just is he's a special human being, and he's had an epic run that we're excited to finish off in a great way.
You talked about DA maybe coming in, or definitely coming in and playing a role that he wasn't expecting to, but just what has he meant to this program, this team,
Yep.
this season?
His fingerprints are all over everything about this year, right? In terms of the real challenges about playing out of position and assuming a role he didn't accept is such a DNA of this team. And then his growth has been so much in character with the guys on this team. He's just grown so much over the course of the season and making big plays. We've been nothing short of dramatic, and so many guys have made big plays, and he's certainly one of the lead guys in terms of making really big dramatic plays. And he's had a real fearless kind of steadiness about him that I think people have seen throughout his career, and we certainly have got to enjoy here.
Talking to him earlier in the week, the sentiment we kind of got was that he's done great things in his career before, but when he's here, he just wishes he had more time. Is that kind of something, that bittersweet feeling that maybe you could relate to starting your career elsewhere?
Yeah, I don't know if anybody's left here and not felt like, man, I would love to have one more day. And if you did leave here feeling that way, then a couple of days pass, you're like, ooh, I'd love to have one more day. It's the ultimate in like it's such a unique, incredible basketball experience. There's nowhere like it. You'll never experience anything like it in the NBA ever. And there's great things ahead for all of our guys in their professional careers, but there's just nothing like being here. And it's a beautiful thing to know and understand, especially if you can grasp a little of that while you're here, because it just is. It's just an experience that's unique.
I'm sure you've looked into it a bunch, but just with the player fatigue stuff, is there any way during the game that you can try and find more pockets of time to get them a little bit more of a break?
Yeah, yes, and that it just depends on so many things, and it's what presents itself in the moment. Can you steal the last possession before a media timeout and get them out? Can you sit them one extra possession just to make the timeout a little bit longer? Can you find a matchup that you like, even if it's just for 45 seconds to go? And also, like, we're going to do our best to take that off the table as much as we can. It's winning time right now, and so we'll get a little deeper into rotational minutes and do the best we can there, and just piece it together. We'll piece it together.
Does that impact the way you use timeouts at all?
Well, it does. It can when necessary. Certainly we've done that a little bit in the second half, just almost fatigue timeouts or just resetting timeouts. So yes, it can.
In that vein, do you kind of treat Saturday almost like the start of tournament time, with as small a margin as there is with playing on Wednesday versus maybe playing on Friday in the SEC tournament? And obviously you want to win the game no matter what. But
yeah, we're there. I mean, we're in winning time. March is winning time. I don't think anybody's going to hold back anything right now. It just is. It is the one thing that we know for sure about Saturday. It's our last rep where the season's not on the line, right? In that sense, but we'll. I don't know if we ever take a game any different than like it's the most important game of the season. That's the way we approach everything. But certainly now we're in that space, and I like our guys, man. I like where we are. I like this group. I like the fact that we just got punched and pummeled and beat up and got up and got up and got up and experienced. And we're a veteran, hardened, like warrior of a team that I think is poised to have a chance to make a real run here because of everything we've experienced this season. And so it's time. It's just time. It's time for us now to get to this part of it. And certainly Friday is a massive game for us. Like you said, it's got unbelievably incredible consequences in terms of like seeding for the SEC tournament, no doubt, and which matters. And so it's it's against the best team in our league right now, and the defending national champion. It's at home and it's senior night. So like always, we load up every single thing we can on the importance of a game. That's why it's Kentucky, right? But it's winning time, and that's what you want. You want to have all that stuff on it. And I like our guys, man. I think we're going to come in and approach this game in a brilliant way, and I think the guys are going to perform at a high level.
It's kind of a double-edged sword because you want those pockets of time, like those extra 45 seconds you say, but it's also winning time, so you want guys like Ortega and Denzel in there. So how do you kind of get it across to like guys like Jasper or Trent who can give those guys like, hey, we need you to really step up, especially in March against Florida, wherever you play in the tournament?
Yeah, and our guys are in it. I thought Jasper gave us really, especially going back to the film, Jasper gave us great minutes. He gave us really, really, really good minutes. He actually unlocked some other guys on the team at Texas A&M. Looking back, I kind of had to lean like, man, I should have probably played him a little bit more, which is a nice feeling to have. And Trent was playing well until I twisted his ankle. So those guys, Mo obviously came out and had a terrific effort, and BG had a really good effort. And so, I'm not only playing the guys on the bench just to rest the guys in the starting lineup. They also had really positive impact on the game. You look at the plus minus from that game, and it also tells a story. So, we're really blessed to have guys that have continued to grow as they've come off the bench and can have a positive impact.
You kind of said, maybe you should have played Jasper a little bit more. Are there guys that you think can get a couple more minutes so Ortega, Denzel, and everyone can rest a little bit longer?
Yes.
Speaking of individual growth, where have you seen Andrea make the most growth from maybe November to now, and where can he focus more, realistically here in March?
Yeah, his understanding of the physicality, that's his thing, man. When he's physical out there, when he's really engaged, when he just is seeking a hit, trying to get contact, he plays great, and he has a really positive impact on the game. For him, it's just not his natural space, right? And so he knows the challenge. He's working hard to adopt that mentality, and you can actually grow into that. That's a skill that you can learn. He's in the process of learning, but he shoots it. He can pass it. He makes good read. He's got good feet. He can catch a move. There's so many things he can do. All of that is like next level when he's really seeking a hit.
Looking back at him missing that 8-week summer session, with the physicality end of it, how much do you think that maybe set him back or didn't get him started as much as he could have?
Yeah, I think
guys like BG, Mo, and
for sure, every day is important in terms of growing. And as these guys are going, it's not a one conversation growth. It's understanding the issue, seeing it at different spectrums, getting to apply it as many times as you can. And so, every day that he's been here has been good for him in terms of growing. He's got a massive ceiling. You think about a guy his size that can shoot it the way he can shoot it. That can be a decision maker the way he can be a decision maker, that has the feet, and his shoulder physicality is wanting at times, but his chest physicality is pretty solid most of the time. And it's just like everybody trying to take the little niches of the game that hold them back and overcome them, and that's a marker for him. And the thing is, he's successfully done it this season. He's done it in multiple games over multiple runs. It's just being consistent and then growing consistently in the physicality of the game. He was poor. His physicality was really poor at Texas A&M. That happens sometimes, but he knows what it is, and he knows where he's going to grow, and I think he's got a big-time future. I think he's going to be a really good player, especially the way we like to play. He can really fit us.
Have you seen that as well? Are you trying to give him more opportunities to go score?
Yeah, it's a place, especially with teams that switch, it gives us an opportunity for him to get downhill. We're trying to put him in spaces where he can do it more, give him actions where he can do it more, and he's been more responsible with it. He's, his first downhill possession against Texas A&M was really a kind of a very physical, vicious drive to where he came to 2 feet and was able to create space off 2 feet and make a great decision. During that epic run, it was a late shot clock, but he got downhill and kind of took a hit and went off 1 foot going away from the basket. It's not his reliable space, right? And so he's doing it a higher percentage of time, much more responsibly. He's an elite level passer. When he gets downhill to 2 feet, he can also make plays for teammates in a great way. And so it's an important part of our offense. He actually had some brilliant turn downs even in the second half. He had a swing where he was at the wing and caught it and was just disciplined enough to turn it down, where we end up with a really, really good possession by the end of the possession. So his discipline and leaning into his strengths has been really good. It was clearly, he had a huge impact on the game offensively against Texas A&M.
From last night, it sounded like you still kind of keeping the door open for both JQ and Cam, possibly. Yeah. Is there like such a thing as too late to bring a guy back into if you're sitting around a 64 NCAA tournament game and somebody hadn't played in 2 months, is that?
It depends. I think it depends how they feel, and it depends where we are. So, I think we're a lot closer with Cam right now than we are with JQ, and so we'll see. I mean, it's kind of a race to the finish line here. A lot of it will depend on how Saturday feels and how the SEC tournament goes, and but there's certainly space. Especially when you're playing back to back to back to back to back. However many back-to-backs it would end up being, there's definitely space, and Cam has had a really positive impact on our team. He hasn't been able to play for quite a while now, but he also has a game where he's had a positive impact on the game, even when he's not maybe in fine-tuned offensively. Just with his length and his mobility and his physicality, he's had a positive impact on us, especially on the defensive end. So we'll see. He's getting closer. He had a really good workout yesterday, a non-contact workout, and so we'll see where that goes.
Is there a timeline with him for getting back into practice or contact?
We're going to see if we can slip him into a little bit of practice today. I don't know if he'll get any contact today, but he's, we're pushing it with him, but he's also been working incredibly hard. He's made good progress. So, we'll see. The question is, once he gets into any type of full speed stuff, like how does it respond? And that's going to be the question we'll be asking over the next days and days.
Talked about Ortega and Denzel. We've got 2 other seniors, Walker and Zach, going, I assume,
Yeah.
go through senior day. Just
Yeah.
what impact have they brought to this program the last 2 years, especially Walker's kind of been in
Yeah.
a unique situation in his 4 years here.
Yeah, Walker's been awesome. I mean, he's born to coach, right? He's just going to be if that's the direction he goes, he's going to be a big time coach. He's smart. He sees everything that's going on. He can connect with every single guy on our team, wherever they come from, whoever they are. He's got a nice, steady demeanor about himself, but he's got a competitive fire. He's been so invaluable. We put him in charge of game day responsibilities that he handles all by himself, where he's delegating responsibilities to players on the team. He just has been elite, and he's made huge shots too. He's made last second end of shot clock buzzer beaters. He's had a really tremendous career here, and he's been a real credit. And then Zach is like the story that you champion, where I don't even think he was hooping anywhere, and he just, besides the rec center, just getting it done at the Seton Center, just taking names, and then he comes to walk-on tryouts with 60 other guys and earns himself a one-day contract that we renewed every single day for an entire season last year until he finally got a jersey. And he's made shots in games and stepped onto the floor in games. And then, the biggest, most epic success ever is, he's been going through this law school application process, and the whole team has been with him every step of the way, to where, last week when he got the news that he'd been accepted to UK law school, he announced the team, and the guys were close to tears. I think every single one of our guys felt like they were going to law school too. And so those are the stories that will never leave college athletics, that are so important and that all of us can relate to. And so we're grateful for those 2 guys, man. And they still have a postseason run in them too. It's going to be really special.
Do you think you'll have walk-ons moving forward, kind of with the changing landscape and everything, and obviously both these guys departing seniors?
Yeah, it's complicated in terms of how legal that is now. So, with the roster limits and exactly how it's been delineated, we'll kind of work through that as we go. But we're kind of learning more about that. I think it's in my career as a head coach, I've had really successful players, and I've had way more successful walk-ons. To come be a walk-on in college sports, man, it prepares you to go run companies and lead organizations, and that's what my walk-ons are doing. Like, you know, walk-ons are incredible because they come in with a skill set and then they grow a skill set because you have to, and then you go on to be a great leader in our communities and society and the business world and every other part of the world, and so I don't know if it's something we can hold on to. You know, things are different now, but if it is, it's worth it because they have an impact on the guys on the team. They grow into incredible human beings, and so I hope that we find some form of space or something for that.
You were talking about Cam a second ago there. As a coach, you always do your best to kind of navigate the speed dating space of the portal, but you're a guy who loves competitors. How vindicating has it been just seeing what he's fought through this injury to make his way back to the portal?
Yeah, come on, Cam has earned everything he's gotten here. He's kind of proved it every step of the way, all the way to, working his way into the starting lineup and really growing into that, and he's barely scratched the surface of what he could be. He's got some things that he's going to overcome in his journey to reaching his ceiling as a player. But if he can do it, he's got a chance to be special. And I love the fact that he's dying to play right now. Like, he's dying to play. Like, he just, and so he's doing everything he can to get in.
I know you can't talk about names in recruiting, but do you have like a system for trying to keep straight who might be eligible, who won't be eligible when you talk about kind of especially guys who have maybe had pro contracts or played in the G League, and pursuing people who may or may not ultimately, be able to play college?
Yeah, everything with recruiting is sensitive, just what we're allowed to talk about. But in terms of the general structure, you have potential avenues in every level of sport right now for recruiting. It's just new. And in some of that, you don't even know exactly how it's going to pan out. But everywhere that the NCAA declares is legal for us to recruit, we'll explore in depth. We're not going to, I'm not trying to go rewrite any rules, but whatever rules there are, we'll play in that space. Some of the rulings, there are some nuances that are still unclear as always that we're trying to figure out. But in terms of our, what's interesting is I'm not going to make them public because that would be illegal, but your recruiting board becomes so massively expansive, especially because things happen so fast. And so there's a ton of speculation about possibilities that you're trying to, take in real time, just so you have at least done a bunch of war gaming. So that's what you do, a bunch of war gaming, thinking through 1,000 different scenarios so that when you get to it, you can kind of be as close to it as you can. And there's a lot of dynamics that go into that. Okay, thanks, guys.